Miguel. How you doing? What's up, Sat? I can't play the Eruption solo. I don't know it. I can't play anything. Let's just get it over with. I don't know how to play any of the things that will make you happy. It's not that kind of live feed. This is where I just play on one chord vamps for no reason. This is what's happening here. What's up? If you play a pentatonic riff and move it outside, do you prefer a half step or major thirds? That depends. I don't know, like half steps is something I do quite a bit. Angra Morningstar KKK. Is that a Nazi salute? Can you play the Phantom Lord, the clean part? I don't know what any of these things are. You know, I just vamp, bros. I just vamp. How about soulful, funky backing track in A minor? That's what we're doing. Hey. Picking technique. Yeah, like, we can talk about that. Yeah, you gotta imagine you're playing that hi-hat. And the bounce that goes into that. So like the first thing is to just be able to play those eighth notes, those downstrokes. See how like if you play them like mechanically, like it's not gonna sound good, it's not gonna feel good. But you gotta first of all get into that like thing of riding the time. So if you can ride on one string, right? Get into that groove, that pocket. So if this is like an A minor. Just be inside that zone with a scale. That eighth notes is downstrokes. When you just open that up, imagine that it's now a hi-hat that you're going like kind of underneath and then playing with the stick on the way up. That's the swank, right? And that's what you're doing with the pick. You're just crossing the string, right? It's all rooted in that motion that grooves. So if you can have those down, those are just an extension of that motion. So there's a certain language to ride that time field. Now double that up. If you were to play that as downstrokes, like you kind of do this thing where the like one big motion and three small motion. That's the upstrokes. Add to that. That's kind of like, that's a little bit of a fast tempo for that subdivision picking for me. At least some people can play that fast picking. I play those kind of tempos legato, but I'll slow the track down a little bit. This is 85%. So relax. Right? That's the idea. So that's just like when you're doing stuff that's relying on your right hand. Once you start getting the left hand involved, then it becomes a little less drummy here and more drummy here, right? So now that's really the way to play fusion, was more of like a liquid sound. Yeah, can you play Autumn Leaves in, whoa, let's see. Somebody asked, can you play Autumn Leaves in not so boring way, or are these standards not meant to be played that way? Why do I sound like shit? Let's see. You look like my friend Mark. Thanks. Sing Madonna. I don't think so. I'm a good egg, yes. Why does it sound like shit? My enclosures also sound like shit. Tony Stark. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, major thirds do that. So, yeah, if I go, I don't know, Autumn Leaves. Let's go to Autumn Leaves and see if we can make it sound any good. No promises. Maybe I'll sound like shit too. But I'll try to sound least shit that I'm capable of. How's that?
No matter what tools promise you, there's no deliverability magic.
But I am playing with a high gain sound, so I'm not sure how great that's gonna translate. I don't know. Yeah. Tony Stark playing guitar, yeah. I took a few lessons with David Tronzo when I was an idiot at Berkeley. He made me cry. I dropped it. Writing software. Thanks, David. Yeah, he was my teacher for like, I don't know, 3 years. Do you know any Mayonnaise Takanakashi songs? No, I don't know what that is. How do you make you cry? Yeah, that's what I want to know too. How do you make you cry? Um, let's see. Let's see. Glad your jokes are funny because your music sucks. Thank you, Wildfire Creative. That's nice. What kind of picks do you use? At the moment, these are Dunlop 1.5s. Uh, I like this Wildfire guy. Aren't you cooking your balls in that posture? Yeah, probably. You suck, but I still love you. Oh, thanks. Marvin, tips for beginners. Probably heard this a bunch. Um, Focus on rhythm. You look like a young Dave Matthews. I look like a lot of guys, I guess. Jesus. Um, Wearing a Marvin Morris more right now. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Your hairline is higher than Willie Nelson. Why is everybody talking about my hairline every day? It's like, you guys, stop. Like, it's not to critique man's attractiveness is super gay. Stop looking at my dick, dude. Why do you play a Strat, not a Telly? Because, yeah. Say one word in Persian. Tadik. Say one word in Persian. I know a lot of words in Persian. Are you joking? Listen, Azizam. I'm married to a Persian. Danny, but some of that fast John McLaughlin Shakti stuff is not boring yet Indian. True. Um, but yeah, boost to the Persian. What is the best pick thickness material? For jazz, really thin picks are really good. Like going, um, let's say under, Fender mediums are really good for jazz. Yo, dude, three-legged moose, Shelly, how you doing? Um, leading guitar, any tips? Yeah, focus on rhythm. It's a good tip. Um, thick picks, again, it depends. Like if you're trying to make the picking blend with your legato, you want a thick. If okay, so first of all, if volume is an issue, acoustic volume, then thick picks. It's a no-brainer, right? If you're playing electric and acoustic volume is not an issue, then you're dealing with a different set of so like projection is like if you're playing gypsy jazz, you need a very thick pick. If you're playing bluegrass, you need a thick pick. If you're playing something with pickups and an amp where the volume has nothing to do with how hard you're hitting the guitar, then you're dealing with a different set of like a pick is now at that point just like tone shaping. It's not really volume that you're looking for. It's not the transfer of energy from your body into the guitar. So it's just a response. Joe Pass played with really thin picks. Stevie Ray Vaughan played with really thin picks. They compress more. I think people make a big fuss about it without and use terminology that like the word warm. There's not a guitar player among us who like you tell them, hey man, do you want to sound warm? And like a blanket. It's just like, why is it gotta be like, go like a cozy? Of course I want to be warm. So we all want warmth because it's a good word, but sometimes that's not the tone you're going for, right? So like a thin pick, a fingernail, flamenco guitar does not sound warm. None of the attacks are warm, right? It's the opposite. It's sharp. Um, I mean, I don't know if it's the opposite. I guess the opposite would be cold. Warm is a weird way to describe sound. But if the more distinct you make your attack, the less it's going to blend with your legato playing. So in a style like bebop, that's a really positive thing, because it when you're playing legato, you want to create this thing where it's like two bebop, right? It's like two sounds: bebop, 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 bebop. It's like articulating, on instruments, making different pitches. So you want this discrepancy between the notes you're hammering on and pulling off and the notes you're picking. So a thin pick really gets you there. It's more like a fingernail. And Joe Pass played thin picks, Stevie Ray Vaughan played thin picks, because they give you this really huge dynamic range between in terms of it's like in terms of the differentiation between the picked notes and the notes you're getting by other means. They create these two layers in the rhythm. Okay, but if you're using a thick pick, it blends more with your legato notes. So if you're Alan Holdsworth, if you're Eric Johnson, right, you need a thick pick because it's going to create smooth, long lines where the ear can't discern what's what. So yeah, well, you need it, well, you need it, well, you need it. If you like jazz fusion, I could check out both so I don't know how to say any of that. Do you hybrid pick when improvising often? I do some, not a lot. Not like some guys are like specialized in it. Do you think a single pickup guitar is enough? It's a bridge pickup, it's enough for some things. Do you support resurrecting Jesus so we can crucify him again? No, I don't know. That's a strange question. Um, is this on the table? Is this something being discussed somewhere? Let's see. Andy Wood uses heavy picks, records with really expensive blue chip ones. Yeah, I mean, in the bluegrass style, it makes sense. That's a volume thing. And also, Andy's going for like that super articulate, like tick, 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 tick kind of phrasing where everything kind of is really tonally, like dynamically sitting like very evenly. So that makes a lot of sense. Uh, what strings should I put on my Shigano? You should put Argentines. Those are the best sounding ones, I think. Why do some jazzers use thick picks? Because Pat Martino, it's like it's that sound. If you're going for a lot of even notes, like if you're phrasing, it sounds like ticka 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 that, like Pat Martino, that's a positive. Pat Martino came up, like Lenny Tristano and people like that play that linear style that like everything is really even. It's not like that happened in jazz, and the other thing happened in jazz too, like Lenny. George Benson plays thin picks, or medium picks, which are like I consider it like the really thin are just for like papery kind of campfire, acoustic guitar playing, like the ones that are like considered thin, like under, I don't know, 0.60 or something millimeters. But like the medium picks, they create those like that multi-layered kind of thing in your dynamic range, and I use them when I play like arch stop with thick strings. But I use bigger picks for fusion because they blend more. Does your chair have a big T on the back? Does it? It has a secret lab. Yeah, it has a T on it. I think it's called a Titan. Let's see. Can you roast a Fender Tone Master Pro? I could. So I use like 3.5 millimeters for gypsy jazz, so those are pretty thick. Boker tov, Abba, ma nishma? Why do Berkeley professors play complicated but sacrifice melody? I don't know. I don't know why they do things. I spent a year studying your lessons, and it helped me huge before playing jazz college this semester. Thank you so much. Oh, you're very welcome, Dominic. When is your next Reggie's gig? We haven't played Reggie's in forever. We should do that again. Probably in a few months. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. Do you play classical at all? No, but I was classically potty trained. What's the deal with the amount of packs of strings you have? Oh, in my studio? The deal is that I used to be endorsed by Ernie Ball, and they just sent me a ton of shit. And then we got a band endorsement for everybody with Diadario and all their like daughter companies. So I kind of stopped using their stuff, but I just had like, I don't know, like hundreds of packs of strings left. So I just put them on my shelf. Let's see. Yeah, he didn't get shot. It's my dad's name. I asked on a different channel which guitarists smoke the most weed. Somebody name dropped you. That is just factually incorrect. I'm a lightweight. Is a classical guitarist who plays and knows more, who knows jazz, the ultimate technical guitarist? Dude, classical guitarists, I don't get like their rhythm. It's like it's always like this weird balance. Like I don't know, man. It's like those fuckers don't groove. It's a real problem. Yeah. What is the jazz swing? What do you mean? Why do you hate me? I do like a bridge on a strat. Let's see. I missed a lot of shit. How do you develop phrasing so your lines sound like a voice? I feel I will cut the audio in my brain and pause. I don't know. Did my line sound like a voice? What's the mode you're playing? Lydian Dominant. I do use a lot of Lydian Dominant. Jeff Beck was my whammy usage hero. Well, you're not alone. Great time, Phil. Thank you. Jesus loves you, big dog. Thank you. I appreciate it, Jesus. I have to look into Michael Lee. Who's that? Michael Lee Firkins. Oh, yeah. He's good. He's pretty good. You wanted a more fusiony version of Autumn Leaves. Oh, cool. Is there a call and response in jazz? There sure is. What track is this? This is actually a great channel with 6,000 subs. It's called Jungle Track. Highly recommend. Awesome. Could you talk about switching between modes and scales when playing over just a one chord vamp? Yeah, sure. You can take something simple like, what people call a backdoor dominant, that's a good way to do it. So like this, let's take that track, which is kind of like, well, let's take a different track. Let's take something else. It's a little bit slower and easier to talk about. That one's kind of like, here's a C7 track. So C7 is a good sound to discuss. What happened there? Is it no longer playing from here? Oh, fuck. Let me just switch the output to be my computer on sec. Okay. So, favorite overdrive pedal? Definitely Voodoo one. Roger Mayer. C7. So, Mixolydian. When I want to make something interesting, I can just play a cadence into it. And in jazz, I think the important mindset that you want to get to is that you can make sounds that lead into sounds, cadences, right? You need to make cadences happen. So in a vamp, there are a lot of cadences you could use. Like the most basic one would be the 5 of the chord you're playing, right? So like a G7 leading to a C7. So the sound might not be what you're looking for, which is sounding like very happy, right? And not really like the right cadence for this vibe, but it is a cadence. Like it creates that motion, like I sense what you're sensing. It's not the right way to get into the chord. So the question is like, how do you get into the chord and make it the right vibe? So a half step up, meaning a sub 5 of that, a half step up from where you're going, from where you're ending, from the C7 is a good way to get in. Like D flat 7. a good sound. So like in the scale that goes with any sub 5 is Lydian dominant, the fourth mode of melodic minor. So if I'm just switching between like D flat Lydian dominant, which is A flat melodic minor, to C mixolydian, I get the sound of a sub 5, right? Like now, a backdoor dominant is when I take a chord that's a whole step down from where I'm going. So it works for dominant chords, it works for major chords. It doesn't work for minor chords quite as well. It works for minor chords too, but it's a little bit of a different story with minor chords. So if I'm using B flat Lydian dominant to get into that C7, it's a great sound. This like George Benson, like so that sound of the F melodic minor going to the C7 is a nice way to lead there. But you can really think about all the harmonies in F melodic minor as ways of getting in. Like F melodic minor, like F minor major 7th. That's how Django a lot of times, you know, move, instead of playing like the 5 of something, that's how we would move into it, 4 minor. But a better way to do it is choose some of the substitutions, some of the other substitutions. Like one of the ones that really sounds great is using on the 5 chord this like it's called like a sus flat 9 13 chord, like G sus flat 13. If you have a 2-5-1, it'd be like another thing is 2 minor 7 flat 5. That like, you know, if I'm in F melodic minor, the 6th degree is D half diminished, and then I can just use that D half diminished to move to that C dominant, or D half diminished with a natural 9, and this sound like so all the harmonies in F melodic minor, what are they? F minor major 7, that G sus flat 9 natural 6, A flat major 7 sharp 5. So think about how that A, like that's thinking like going to, if I'm in C major, if I'm trying to lead to a C major, it's a chord built on its flatted 6 that's a major 7 sharp 5. Let's it has a C triad in it, just A flat in the bass. If I just move that A flat to a G, it's a C triad. It's one note away from being a C triad. Right? B flat Lydian dominant, like we said. That's a nice. You can use. I wouldn't use something with the root C because I'm going to C. D half diminished we already talked about. And the last one would be E altered. So E altered leading to C. So an altered chord built off the 3rd. Right? Again. from. Those pinch harmonics tasty as fuck. That's how you compliment a lady. If my wife told me that, I would like lose it. Be like, oh my god. Thunderstruck. I don't know how to play any of those requests, so don't worry about it. Thanks a lot for a detailed explanation. So melodic minor of the 4 chord is really important. You can use any melodic minor of any chord. Like, okay, if you just think about the 5 of every chord in any harmony, you can use it's altered. Or a half step up from any chord in the harmony, you can use its Lydian dominant, same shit. So if I'm playing on a C7, I can use D flat, Lydian dominant, to lead to C, a half step up from C. But what are the chords coming out of C7, right? C7 is from the key of F. So I have F, G minor, A minor, B flat, C7, and D minor. E half diminished is not included because you can't make a cadence into a half diminished chord. It doesn't, there's no 5 of a half diminished chord. So yeah, A minor is the 3 minor in that key. So a half step above every one of them, you have a Lydian dominant scale. And you can play all the chords from all of those melodic minor scales. Because there's no avoid notes in Lydian dominant. All the notes sound good in Lydian dominant. So when you have a scale system with no avoid notes, like in a cadence, there's no really no avoid notes. So you can use all the harmonies. So like, as long as you understand that you're using it to move and you know how to resolve it, then it's kosher, right? So like, let's say I'm playing over a C7 and I'm taking just like the harmony of any chord, choose a chord, any chord from C7, like let's say G minor, right? And I'm using A flat Lydian dominant to get into it. So now I'm drawing from E flat melodic minor. So what are the chords of E flat melodic minor? E flat minor major 7, F minor 7, G flat major 7 sharp 5, A flat dominant, B flat dominant, C half diminished, and C half diminished and D altered. So all those are options. And if I know how to connect them with a scale, then I can use any of those sounds to move back to C mixolydian. And that just has a different sound. Like if I do that sound instead of the back door, it's more like... And here I have this like... let's see. Hey Marvin, I really wish you play for Steely Dan soon. I don't think they're gonna hire me, bro. Sorry to be too basic. Passing notes make my playing sound better. Basically, pentatonic. Yeah, do what you need to do to sound good. Shit, man. Sat 12 has like a side hustle teaching on the side here. It's just like dropping links, giving wisdom. I like it. But I heard that circle of fifth is the way. It's the way to waste a lot of fucking time. So yeah. How can I steal all your licks? Just watch the videos and take whatever you want. Do you ever play unplugged when you're just fucking around? Yeah, of course. Everybody does. My guitar playing has been full AIDS. It's not up for discussion. If I watch enough, then yeah, good enough. Why don't you have a job? I just listened to Sean Lane. Get you back. You're not far off. What? This, first of all, this is my job, and yeah, I like Sean Lane. I'm a fan. The Reinhardt stuff I do, I've been kind of off the Reinhardt game lately. Sup, murky fluid. Hey, Argentina. Egomaniac is your show? What do you mean? You're welcome. Do I enjoy playing guitar? Yeah. I understand what you're saying. Let's see. Somebody asked a question. Thoughts on transcribing. You know, you're not going to get worse by doing it, but it's probably not the best thing for a lot of you guys. Like, if you don't have a system for understanding what you're transcribing that's really intact, what are you doing? You know what I mean? It's just like people are like, Wes transcribed Wes transcribed Charlie Christian. There's like 8 Charlie Christian solos. Like, okay, yeah. It's like, yeah, transcribe 8 solos. You know what I mean? People take it to a whole other level now, to where it's like, you know, a 20-year pursuit. Like, let's transcribe some shit that he figured some shit out because there was nothing else to do. you can take very small chunks and understand them on a lot of changes. Really understanding the rhythm of things is, and like the chord is the context for the notes. The way you understand, like that's the ninth. That's like intervallically against chords. Like, you know, oh, he's touching the 13th of that chord. Now he's going to the flat fifth. That's a good framework for that. The groove is a framework for the rhythm. But the problem is that you want to imagine the rhythms on the groove. So you want to constantly like re-evoke that, like and like take the rhythms and sing them. That's the key. I think singing the rhythms you're transcribing and studying the rhythms that are in front of you is the most important part by far. Have you checked out Max Ostro's playing? Yeah, sounds like Guthrie Govan light. Why is my belly button leaking clear, smelly fluid? Now that's a good question. Whoa, how you stay up so late, homie? It's a talent, really. I should be sleeping. Is there a maggot brain backing track? If I'm interested. I don't know what maggot brain is. Let's see. It's supposed to be a Google search bar disregard. Do you think solely learning new songs is an effective way of practice? No, you need to have like songs you run things through. That's an effective way of thing. Saw your video on worship reverb guitar tone. I use reverb to thicken the clean tone instead of adding more drive. How do you use reverb? I have reverb on. Oh. I always use reverb delay. What's a maggot brain backing track? It's hard to go from beach weather to Chicago weather. Yeah, it's all right. I'm in Chicago. I guess that question made it Did you guys notice that, like, when you're playing a blues, Yeshua, Jesus loves you. Thank you. That when you're playing like on a blues thing, the microtonal bending stuff sounds good from every note except for the root and the fifth of the parent key. Like if I'm playing an A blues, like notice I can do microtonal bending on every note except for like the root sounds like dog shit if I go. It's hard to sell that. Like that note doesn't sound like a little. The flat two is good. The two is good. The flat three is good. The third is all right. The fourth is great. The flat fifth is great. The fifth sound like dog shit, like really bad. And the flat 6, 6, flat 7, and 7 are good. The flat 7. So just if you avoid the triad notes with the microtonal bending, you're golden. Just not the root, third and fifth. And then you can play all these like cool Jimmy Herring kind of. Yeah, a lot of bending in that music. Most effective way to study harmony. Um, Carefully, I don't know, from the beginning, diatonic, then secondary dominance, then sub fives, then modal interchange. How can you be in Chicago? Trump said the city is burning anarchy. Not in my neighborhood, it's been cool. Do you watch Rick Beato interviews? I've seen a couple. What's your best option for playing outside in the key of A minor? I like melodic minor a tritone away, which is kind of like again, it's, if you think of it like the sub 5 of the 1 of the key, right? So it's like, but if I'm here like, that kind of sound, I like that. Are you familiar with the diarrhea tonic scale? No, not really. It's the best way to learn blues timing. I can't play blues. I mean, things must be real bad if you're asking the Jews about how to fix your blues playing. What's your favorite Marvin song to play? Marvin? There used to be a band called Marvin. We used to tour. Was I in it? Jesus, it was a long time ago. No, we still do it. We don't tour enough. I don't know. I like them all. It's fun to play. Whatever is the newer stuff is always the funnest. I'm not a big Borelli guy, but I do like him. When are you coming to Austin, Texas? We're coming to Austin, Texas in January, actually. Now we're just going down some. I don't know, his music doesn't really speak to me. Ben, what's going on? Haven't seen Seed in a while. sat 12 hours in that I invented everything I do. Absolutely 100% original all the time. Questions. Let's see. Words of wisdom. Never let anyone play your guitar after eating a salami sandwich. Clutch. Nice. You just finished my practice. Is there any interesting story about your Strat? And are you left-handed? No, this is a mirrored video. No, my Strat was stolen. They made a replica, which is this, which is not nearly as good, honestly. But, you know, I got used to it. Hello from Brazil. Hello. Hello. Did you see Andy Wood on stage? I know Andy, so I've seen him. He plays great. What should I do when I resolve correctly from a tritone sub, but still sound like crap? You know, look in the mirror and ask yourself some real questions. Thanks, Andrew. About the be careful of those guys. I hear they are stealing some of your riffs lately. What? Who's stealing my riffs? Played. Good evening, Marvin. I chatted with you a few months back on your Live Gypsy cool jams. Thanks. How much time practice does it take to be able to play a thought you have in your mind about something? I don't know. A lot, probably. I would guess probably quite a bit. You know, I don't even know, like, at this point, like, it's like, you know, if people ask me things about, like, do you hear what you're playing? I don't even know what's going on anymore. I just kind of, it's very natural at this point, honestly. Like, I can have, like, you know, like, you make me look at something and I'm like, okay, that's Dorian, right? It's like, that's a D minor triad. Those are approach notes. So that, like, it's like the things that happen just happen, you know. It's like I'm improvising, and I think like if you're if you I never learned licks. Like, I'm not saying I don't have moves. Everybody has moves, but, like, you know, ways I'm moving my body through the scale, and rhythms I'm like that are in my mind, so I repeat them. But it's like we're not like we don't have infinite ideas, but you like, it's like people are like, it's just like talking, like you know what I mean? It's like you're playing your ideas. Like the point isn't like, I can understand the frustration if you're unhappy with how you sound, that you're like, I need better ideas. But like you have to always build from your playing. I tell this to everybody. It's like you can't, the lick thing creates a situation where you're imagining that there's an alternative to your playing, like 10 Charlie Parker licks, a Brecker lick, a Holdsworth lick, like all these things. Like, I'm gonna go from this to this to this to this, but like, you will always have to fill in the blanks between those things and after and before these things with things that are coming out of you. And they are going to be, it's like, you know, if you take a bunch of hot people and take pieces of their flat flesh and glue them to your body, like, you know, like an actress's cheek and a porn star's left titty. And like, it's not, you're not making yourself more beautiful. It's horrific. It's grotesque, right? So you have to learn from these people, like about how they took care of themselves, and then apply those things to your life and make better choices. That's the only path. There are no other paths, you know? It's like there are paths, but they're horrific. They're like mental illness. So yeah. We'll do a video about chord melody. I've done many. Why don't you play two rock amps? I don't like them very much. They're just like super hyped Dumble clones. Are you going to do any gypsy jazz tonight? No, no. D minor 7, B flat 7, E minor 7, flat 5, A 7, flat 5. Can you make something out of those chords so I can see where you take it? Sure, yeah. It's yeah. Favorite instrument to roast? The bass. Come on. Come on. What year is your super reverb? I think it's 64. How did you come up with that? It's a pretty common progression. Bass. Correction, favorite type of musician to roast? Bass. Acceptable, but barely. Thanks, dude. Yeah, I mean, like, it's just like, it's just like you know, a 2-5-1 to D minor, and then like sub 505 for a second before the 2-5-1. But it's like, you know, if you write a melody on that, you know, it's like you would probably want to touch specific, like, you know. Like on a weather report, you kind of like. It's been some years. That is Nocturnish. It's so hard to not end up sounding the same after a few bars. It's not that hard if you actually have ideas. You know, if you're actually playing ideas that you're having. You know, it's just, and then you stop playing when you just kind of like feel done. How much do you float your tremolo bar? About a minor third on the G string. Can you play something over Strasbourg Saint Denis? What is Strasbourg Saint Denis? What is that? Strasbourg Saint Denis backing track. Let's see. Oh, it's a jazz tune. That makes sense. Oh, what a nightmare. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Is that what you want? Wow, I didn't know you're a lefty. No, I'm not. It's mirrored. Do you know Paganini? Not personally. Oh, whoa. I like Frank Mbali. I don't mind him. So let's see. Have you tried Rio Amazons by Dory? No, I don't know it. But yeah, it's that tune is just like B flat Dorian. Like that's not changes. That's just B flat Dorian. Like that whole thing is just B flat passing tone to B flat first inversion. There's nothing going on there, and then there's like a F7 to turn around. Five of one, and then just like a one chord, and then turns around to like the two chord again. So the whole tune's just two, and then like two, and then two, and then one, right? So yeah, what do you think of El Di Meola? It's funny. He started commenting on some of my rants, so we slid into the DMs of Instagram. So I started talking to him a little bit. He seems all right. He seems like a nice guy, honestly. I liked when I was growing up. I really liked Elegant Gypsy. I thought that was a really good album. I'm not crazy about like his soloing or anything, but like for a fusion album, I mean, honestly, like as an album, it doesn't get too much better than that. Fusion's like a album plagued, is like a style plagued with very few great albums. What do I do to learn theory? Well, what you do. You start at the beginning. Look at the fretboard. Figure out the first thing you don't know, and start knowing it, and then like ask yourself what the next thing is. Is it even possible to play piano songs on guitar, like Opus 740, number 14? Not really. Can you explain beginning riff of Marvin Israeli jazz? Sure, I think. So it's like it's just E minor. And I use kind of like chicken picking. It's pretty basic. Favorite. What are you learning right now? Not much. Do you like Yngwie Malmsteen songs? I do, yeah. I don't even remember how the melody goes. That's it. It's been like, I don't even know, like 6 years since we played that song or something. Fuck, I don't even remember how it goes. Yeah, I remember it. And then, that's how it goes. And then, all right. Can you play something over Billy Corgan's Cobham Stratus? Not really. Yeah, Fade to Black solo, please. No. But yeah, that's the Israeli jazz stuff. That first riff is very hard. That's the trick. There are only like I used to play fast. That's it. All right. My face is melting. You're too sweet. All right. See you guys later. I gotta go to sleep. Dude, I love Danny Gatton's Midnight Harlem Nocturne. It's the guitar tone there is so crazy with that like overtone hovering is so good. See you guys.